She was asking for divorce and I finally discovered why. Hi everyone, welcome back to another Reddit cheating story. Before we start, please hit the subscribe button and click the notification bell so you won't miss another cheating story goes live. I have recently found out that my wife has had multiple affairs, physical and emotional, and that she wants a divorce. We have been married for about 10 years and have no kids. We both have good jobs and earn a combined income of $250K plus. She earns a little more than me now, but that was the reverse for years. So some background, our marriage has hit a bumpy road the last few years. I had an accident a few years ago and eventually that led to me needing to have surgery to repair the damages to my body. While recovering from that surgery, I developed a blood clot and then a pulmonary embolism and nearly died. From the time of the accident, I started to put on weight because I was physically limited with what I could do from the pain, so the surgery was necessary. All of this compounded, I started to have depression. There were a few other items during this time that contributed to my depression, but those are the broad strokes of it. It took me a few years to finally realize that I needed professional help with my depression, and at the beginning of this year, I started seeing a psychiatrist and started on some antidepressants. Then COVID-19 happened, and once we got through the worst of it, I started seeing a therapist as well. Over the last few months, I have really started to come out of the darkness of my depression and really started to feel more positive. My depression displayed itself with anger, yelling, being short, snippy, lack of motivation, generalized withdrawal. You get the idea. Over the last 2 months, my wife told me that she wanted a divorce, and that came as a bit of a shock, as when we last talked about our relationship, she was on board for us to work on our relationship and to start couples therapy. A few weeks after this conversation, she went out shopping and stopped replying to my text for like a 2-hour period. So I got curious and looked at our phone account and noticed that while she was ignoring my text, she was texting another number. Which led to a black hole, finding a bunch of other numbers, which led me to logging into her email and then social media accounts and found all of the incriminating evidence of the affairs. I didn't say anything that night. The next morning, I confronted her and she came clean on things. At this point, we have not told anything to family or friends, and she doesn't want to yet, as we have conflicting ideas of what the message should be when we tell everyone. I want to be completely honest, like I was above, but she doesn't want that and is concerned about her reputation and being judged by friends and family. My life has been a vortex of emotions the last few months. At the end of the day, I love my wife. I want the opportunity to try to work on our relationship. I really want to make up for the years of my depression with her. I want to change her mind. I want to prove it's worth trying. We have a long history and I don't want to throw it away. Here is the second story. Wife and I have been married for 3 years and dating for 5 years. For the past 2 weeks I have been noticing my wife acting kind of strange and texting way too much. She also tries to hide her phone from me. 2 days ago I opened her text messages by mistake because I was using her phone to Google something. The text I read was sent from a Michelle, but reading the message I saw that the other person texted my wife Jennifer with a kiss emoji, and she replied back to Mark with a kiss emoji as well. I found this oddly weird, so I went ahead and opened her Facebook friends, and surely enough, Mark was her friend and coworker. ! I confronted her yesterday and she came clean. She said it has been happening for about 3 weeks and they have done it a few times only. The reason she gave me is that we have not been having sex lately. It is true. We both tried the swinging lifestyle last year to try new things, and after that I stopped being sexually involved with her unless there was a third or fourth. I know, I fucked up, but this was never my intention. She explained that she felt the need to feel wanted and sexy, which I totally understand. I know that mostly it is my fault since I stopped caring about my beautiful wife's sexual desire. We talked about it and decided to give it a shot and try counseling ASAP. I feel that it was a big mistake getting involved in the swinger lifestyle since she was never in support of it. Also, being the jealous guy I am, I went into her deleted message and found a few disturbing texts from her to him that read something like, "If you let me be part of your life, I will be the best woman you have ever had." Which obviously makes me sick to my stomach, since it clearly seems she was planning on having a future with him, and she has been seeing him every now and then after she drops me off at work in the morning. Since they work together, I was very clear with her and asked her to stop talking/seeing him and delete his Facebook. She is going to quit her awesome job thanks to that asshole, and we are both going to give it a try since we actually love each other. I think it is definitely my fault for pushing her away, and now I am paying the consequence. She is beautiful, but my lack of sex towards her is killing us. It is not that I'm not attracted to her. I am, I just don't know why I can't seem to stop fantasizing about other chicks instead of my wife. Do you guys think it is worth the try? Should we give up on each other? How do I deal with this? I am very angry at the fact that of all people, she decided to shit where she eats. That's what makes me go bonkers. The thought of them two seeing each other at work just makes me sick to my stomach. I really want to confront the guy, but she keeps telling me not to blame it on him. The fucker slept with a married woman and needs to be smacked. Here is the third story. I accidentally picked up the wrong phone and discovered that my wife was. I am now broken and lost. Trapped in my head, unable to eat, sleep, or think. I don't think I can cope much longer. I love this beautiful woman so much. I put her above my children. I was late for work one day and grabbed the wrong cell phone. As I'm driving, I see my number calling this phone. Confused at first, then realized I must have grabbed the wrong phone. She was calling frantically. As I answered, it was her yelling over and over that I took the wrong phone. I personally didn't think it was a big deal. What does it matter? A phone is a phone, right? So I was halfway to work and already late, so I couldn't turn back. She said she would come to my work to get the phone. I agreed and hung up. After her reaction to the situation, curiosity got the better of me and I looked at her phone. It's something I wish I could take back and never did. There were a bunch of pictures of her private areas, all of them, breasts, and even a little sign she made. I had no idea what that meant. This was 2 weeks before Christmas, by the way. She had a date written next to that. As I typed that into Google, I found out it was a Reddit sub thing. I didn't have time to look further because I had to work. As the store manager of a CVS at the time, I couldn't sit and play on a phone. I had tons of work to do. So anyway, I give her back her phone completely devastated, disgusted, and destroyed. She had no reason to do this. I treat her well, I tell her she's beautiful and sexy all the time, our sex life was great. She deleted her account, and when I asked her to log back in, she told me once it's deleted, that's it. It's unretrievable. I verified that. So I tried to forgive her. After 3 days, I accepted her apology and tried to move on. As we got into an argument in front of her work, she told me with the proudest look I've ever seen her have and a big smile that those pictures she posted, well, those guys loved her. I literally couldn't believe she had just said that to my face. I don't know what would have been worse, her cheating on me, or putting all of her body out there for the world to see. And throwing it in my face, knowing how much I've hurt already. I am literally crying as I write this. This woman is my everything. She is my happiness. And I sit here now in a funk that I can't move past. A nightmare I can't wake up from. I could never do something like that to her. I could never intentionally try to hurt her like that. I'm sorry, but I'm lost for real. And I'm not the most emotional person like this. But this hit me so hard, I'm not sure I can handle this much longer. I feel so stupid even writing this right now. I'm embarrassed for feeling this way. But I can't help it. I've tried to man up. It's not happening. I just love her too much. I hate that I do, but I do. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell for any future cheating stories.